ridiculous! Ridiculous! Mate! I have an inkling that you don't need to fly to America or Europe to have an amazing cycling holiday.
I'm pretty convinced that we've got some amazing stuff right here on our doorstep.
You know who else thinks so? Garmin, who set us on a challenge to find the best rides here in the UK. And in today's episode, we're in...
America!
We're not in America, we're in North Wales.
North Wales is famously home to Snowdonia National Park, or Eryri in Welsh. Snowdonia is actually Wales's largest national park, and it covers a massive 823 square miles. Within the national park, there's 9 mountain ranges that cover 52% of it. This includes many peaks that are over 915 metres. That is in the clouds. So as you can imagine, it's a perfect place to ride a bike. It's also home to the steepest street in the world, and that's the first thing we're going to go check out.
The lady's walking up, it can't be that bad.
This bit looks terrible. This looks steep. Now this looks...
I don't have to put my faith in these brakes.
Ride the steepest street in the world, which is in a town called...
Harlech.
That's perfect.
There's been some controversy over what the steepest street in the world is. There's one in New Zealand which is claimed to be the steepest street in the world, but I think currently this one here in North Wales has it.
But was lost to the New Zealand one, so now it's...
The New Zealand one, officially. Whatever the case, there's a sign at the top that says World's Steepest Street, so we're going with it. I've seen some people struggling on here. Apparently there's a lot of car crashes. They crash straight into this wall because it's so steep. And we're gonna ride it. I can get on my bike. It's scary. It's so steep, it's scary. But it is rideable. There was a bit, I honestly wasn't sure if I don't know, is the gears enough to get up it? That's what I was thinking. And then you start and you're like, okay, this is doable. And then you get to about 75% of the way up. You're like, is this doable? And then it's safe.
Safe?
If there's anything, well, okay, it's not safe. It's safe unless one of your mates is filming you and gets in the way.
Can you imagine what would happen if one of those cars was coming down when you're going up?
No, you'd be stuffed. Thankfully, it's short. This is a short climb. But, I mean, as you can imagine, it's pretty savage. I would not be embarrassed if I'd had to unclip and stop. So, I think the argument over which street is the steepest in the world was over where the road is measured from. So this held the record, the Guinness World Record, from 2019 to 2020. And then the one in New Zealand pipped this one because they were measuring from the middle of the road and kind of changed the rules. This, I think, has the steepest section of any road in the world, or any street in the world. But it might not be in the middle. I didn't ride the middle, I definitely rode the steepest bit. I must have.
Stilham Dam, near Blaenau Festiniog. It's a closed road, big ass climb with switchbacks that ends at a massive dam hydro energy thing. It's just wild here. It feels like a different country. It just feels like you're in the middle of nowhere. Like you wouldn't want to have an accident here because you'd be worried about whether they'd find you or not. Don't put that in. Last year our good friend Chris, that you'll have seen in the previous video, attempted to Everest this climb every day for 7 days straight, raised loads of money for charity. So Chris, myself, Francis know it well. Look at it. Get that drone shot up.
To reiterate, this is a completely closed road. You have to hop over a fence. Well, you have to hop your bike over a fence and then walk through a very little gate on the side to get in. So there's very rarely cars up here. Of course, you get service vehicles occasionally going up to the dam, but most of the time, completely quiet. You get longboarders sometimes, so watch out for them, but mainly cyclists, mainly people riding it just for leisure. So a lovely place to come, super relaxing, and you haven't got to worry about cars behind you beeping. There's some other non-road cycling stuff to do. Downhill mountain biking is amazing, accessible from the nearby town, which is called
Blaenau Festiniog.
There's caving, there's walking, and there's a zip line. Not the fastest one in the world, but same company.
Not only is it one of the most beautiful climbs in the country, but they've recently re-tarmacked the entire closed road. So it is literally also the best buttery, smooth tarmac in the country as well. This really is one of the best, isn't it? It's probably the best in the world. I'm going there. Go and see the place with the longest name, not only in the UK, but in Europe.
Llanfair... Wait.
Llanfair Pwll Gwyngyll Gogeryll Llyn Llantysilio Gogogoch.
Gwyngyll Gerry...
I have learnt Welsh and I have a GCSE in it. But I know I'm still going to get this wrong. I've never attempted to say this in my life.
What did you get in your GCSE?
D. Llanfair Pwll Gwylls Gils Gogery Chwarich Drobyn Chwils Llantysilio Gogogoch. And in English, that translates to the Church of Mary in the hollow of the White Hazel near the fierce whirlpool and the Church of the Tysilio by the Red Cave.
While you're here, is there anything else worth visiting?
Don't know.
Ride Colid Climb from
Trefier.
This is a tiny little, very quiet village with a very, very steep street. If you go up that steep street and then turn right, you find one of the lesser known climbs here in North Wales. However, it's absolutely incredible and savage. Be prepared because I think they borrowed this one from the Lake District. It is really, really steep. It's over 20% gradient for a significant amount of time, so make sure you have the right gearing and make sure you bring some warm clothes because when you're at the top, you are at elevation.
Hey Francis, go and ride the full segment so we have the stats for Garmin. I've done it before, so I don't need to do the whole thing. Yeah, good one, Jimmy.
Dodged a bullet there. 26% I was saying, for quite a bit of it. And then there was a lovely relief when it went under 20% for the first time. And then it stayed at 19% for ages. And I went the wrong way. When you come up to the bit where it's like left or right, go left. How is that not a famous climb? It's amazing. 2.9k, exactly. 390 meters of elevation in that short distance. And 13% average. That's long. Well, it's short, but it's long. Unlike every other ride that we featured in today's video, this one is accessible and flat and friendly for anyone who rides a bike. This is a route around a lake called
Llyn Teged.
right next to a town called Bala. Some of the route around the lake is off-road but paved, and some is on-road, but the roads are really, really quiet. And everyone is in holiday mode, nice and chill. I doubt you're going to get any trouble from drivers. On the lake, there's lots of off-bike stuff you can do as well, like stand-up paddleboarding, canoeing, kayaking, and windsurfing. Unlike a lot of the towns in this region, Bala has loads of places to stay, loads of food to eat, and lots going on. It's a popular destination for good reason. Because it looks beautiful.
This is Bolchigroes, also known as Hellfire Pass. It's a 2.9 kilometre climb with 270 metres of elevation, which has an average of 12.6%, with many points over 20%. What an absolute monster of a climb!
Get over it!
It was historically used by famous British car manufacturers Austin and Triumph to test the hill climbing capabilities of their cars.
Ah! Did you know this was used in the milk race?
What's the milk race, Francis?
I've actually done the milk race, but they changed it to a crit. But it used to be a race that was all around the UK, like a multi-stage thing. And this was one of the hardest climbs, renowned as one of the hardest climbs in that race. So it's pretty iconic. I think this is the best thing on this list, definitely. I mean, the steep street's cool, but in terms of actual riding, this is a winner. Just like the Cowling climb from earlier in the video, this is a serious climb. It's very steep and over 20% for a significant portion, so just make sure you're ready. Take food with you, take layers, and you will be rewarded. That marks the end of this video. It's a new format for us. Let us know in the comment section if we missed anything in North Wales, and thank you so much for watching. Subscribe for more videos like this. And spoilers for where we are next.